I'm so excited. I am live today launching my new book, Working from Home. How's that working for you? So, I am, I cannot thank you enough. Everybody out there that has bought the book, that has ordered the book, that has supported me through this experience. I got to tell you, it has been quite the interesting um, last 6 months, right? I think we are all just in this experience right now to figure out how we're going to all come out on the other side, whenever that is. So, introducing, it's a book, a real live book, Working from Home. How's that working for you? Really, really proud to have made this happen, mainly in the time that I did. And I'm really, really excited about what this is going to offer everybody in the world. So, um, everyone's been asking me, why did you write this? How did this come about? Thanks, Dawn Andrews. How did this come about? Let me share with you how it came about. On March 16th, Marty, my lovely husband, hi, Chris. Marty backed his car into the driveway of our sweet little cottage in Atlanta and started unloading his office. At which point I'm looking outside my window of my office going, oh my God, what's going on? Totally cannot believe that he's moving home. So here I am in my lovely Zen office space for the last 20 years, almost to the day, cranking and getting my work done and totally successful and productive and no interruptions. And all of a sudden, the door opens and here comes all his stuff, his computer and his monitor and his chair. And I'm like, oh my God, this is really happening, right? As it was for everybody. That was the day, I'll never forget it. It's March 16th, 2020. So the first thing I said to him when all this happened was, oh my God, it's really not going to be a problem for you to move into the house, because you've totally got this, and we got this together because we set ourselves up for success in the way we live. So it's not going to impact you in the way you work. But what about all those other people in the world? Think about it. All of a sudden, everybody's sequestered to their home indefinitely, or at least for the next 2 weeks they start, right? 2 weeks we're not leaving our house except to walk our pets and walk outside. And all of a sudden people are going, oh my God, I now have to work out of that space. That space I got to leave every morning and go to the nice calm office with my colleagues and leave my crazy life behind. Whew, I started to panic for the world. I literally did. I said to Marty, this hurts my heart to know that there are so many people out there that are not going to know how to do this. They are not going to know how to work productively and efficiently and effectively under their own roof, the same roof that they raise their children, they raise their pets, and they live their life, right? So it was one of those things where a really, really dear friend of mine, Krista Parkinson, said, I'm taking this course for the weekend about writing a bestseller. And I thought, okay, maybe this is the time. Maybe this is the time to write that book about working from home. And boom, I hopped into the class. I didn't even have a minute to think about it. I literally just hopped into the class, right? I get into the class and my mind starts working and I'm writing down the names of the chapters and I'm thinking about all the clients over the years that I've worked with who have successfully created a business working from home, because that's what most of my clients were. They were entrepreneurs or solopreneurs or small business owners starting businesses out of their home and growing them. And then I thought, oh my God, there's all my corporate clients that I've now gone in and trained them over the years that are now all coming home and working under their roof. And everybody's situation is different. I got to be able to help. There's got to be some commonalities that I can literally throw in there. So I write this book. I basically come back. I tell Marty, I got to get this book out in the world and I'm in a hurry. I got to get this book out in the world and I'm in a hurry because someone else is going to write this book. And they're not going to write it like I am, and they're not going to have the same voice, and they're not going to have the same snarkiness, and they're not going to have the same attitude. So I've got to write me, Wendy Ellen, my book now. So a dear friend of mine, Jennifer Jackson, who lives 40 minutes outside of Atlanta in Palmetto, Georgia, said, I've got an Airbnb. You don't need to pay. Come spend the week there and write your book there. And I thought, oh my God, this is perfect. Because I know that when I'm completely focused on one thing at a time and I have zero interruptions, I am full speed ahead. So I pack my whiteboard and I pack my computer and my monitor and I literally take my office apart and I camp out in Palmetto, Georgia for 4 days. I left on a Tuesday night. I was going to work all day Wednesday, all day Friday, all day Saturday, and I was going to be done. And I went there with the attitude that, okay, let's get as much as you can get done. And then whatever you don't get done, you'll just come back and you'll finish it. No problem. I got in there, I hunkered down. There was nothing else to do in Palmetto, Georgia for me. I was by myself in this adorable little cottage, completely safe, completely comfortable. All the food I needed, all the liquids I needed, and I cranked. And I had this fabulous cushion that I sit on so that my tush didn't hurt at the end of this experience. Thank you, my wonderful chiropractor, Shoshana. But what I did was I focused. I got really clear on the end game that I wanted to come out of here with a book. And then I wanted to move it forward. So I cranked every single day, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. By 8 p.m. I stopped. I got in bed. I watched a little binge Gilmore Girls, which I love doing by myself. And I went to bed, lights out 9:30, got up the next morning and did it again. And I literally just checked it off one chapter at a time. Because each chapter is a story about a real life person that I worked with over the last 20 years. And the experience that they had. Hey, Mark. Hey, Brian. I know, tush. I had to say the word tush. What can I tell you? Every single one of these chapters has to do with a client that I worked with over the years, over many years, 20 years of doing this. And I would think of a client and go, you know what, that person had this exact same situation that everybody else is now dealing with in relation to their email inbox, or being able to focus, or being able to set boundaries around your time, or cleaning up the clutter, or not having a system for follow-up. Whatever it was, I decided that I was going to find the person that made the most sense, that was the most relatable, and create a story around it, which became a chapter. Hi, Cornelia and Barbara Miller Murphy. So that's how the book happened. So why me? Well, you know, number one, I've been in this lane, so to speak, in this productivity arena for 20 years. Back in 2000, I was working for Kicks and Y106, the radio stations here in Atlanta, and I was an account executive. I sold radio time for many years, and I loved it until I didn't, which, you know, we all get to that point in our life where we love what we're doing until one day we wake up and we go, I'm done. I've had enough. For whatever reason, I just was ready to do something different. And I'll never forget this. I went to see Oprah, who was doing her Live Your Best Life tour back 20 years ago. One of the first cities she came to was Atlanta. And it was April 22nd. I'll never forget the day, actually. And I went with my friend Donna, who sat next to me at the radio station. And she was really powerful. And the one thing that everybody kept standing up at the end of this Oprah experience and asking questions about was, but how do we leap how do we leap when we have a fear of the money? How do we quit our job and do something we really want to do when we don't have an income? All the fear was tied into people's money. And I remember walking out of there and saying to Donna, I'm leaving the radio station by my birthday, which is November 28th, and it was April 22nd. And I don't know what I'm going to do. Hi, Jewel. I don't know what I'm going to do, but I'm getting out of the radio business. I'm done. And I don't know what it looks like. And I literally put it out to the universe. And I have to really say this. When you put into the universe what you want, the universe conspires to give it to you. And I had no idea what it was going to happen. I came home that day. I said to Marty, I'm out of the radio business. I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm giving it until the end of the year, my birthday, by Thanksgiving. Barbara Miller Murphy, dear friend of mine who's actually watching me right now, calls me around September and says, I know these two women in Buckhead, Georgia, who are selling a business, and I think you should buy it. And I looked at her and said, I'm not buying a business. I have no business mind. I'm not interested in buying a business. She says, thanks, Susan Shores. You've been looking to read. You will read the book and you will love it. Thank you, baby. Barbara says to me, just talk to these women, see what they have to say. I said, what kind of business is it? She said, it's called the 25th Hour. It's a personal concierge service, meaning you need an extra hour in your day. You hire me and I run your life. And I thought, I could do that. And here's why. I will do a shout out to Andrea Quinn, whose class I'm in right now called the Quintessentials. Want to know more about it? Email me or PM me. It's phenomenal. It's a women's class. And I'm taking this class and I'm learning what her tools are. And one of her tools is, instead of trying to get better at what you don't do well, do what you do well more. Do more of it. Well, what I realized was I had a gift. And one of my gifts was that I get things done. I get things done. I like getting things done. I'm not stressed out about a to-do list. I just knock it out. I have a way I think about it in my head. I don't let it stress me out. I don't take on more than I think I can handle in a day because I'm very realistic about how much 24 hours gets me. And I live as if I have 24 hours in a day, not 36, like most of the world. And so I figured, I have a gift, I can get things done. Maybe I should go talk to these girls. So I did. I went and I talked to these women. And I said, tell me what you have. And they basically said, here's the deal. We don't really have a lot to sell. What we have to sell is a marketing materials, brochures. We have a list of clients, but none of them are on contract. So there's no guarantee that when we sell this business to you, they'll want to work with you. I said, I get it. And so what happened was, two women were partners. They were both pregnant with their first child. One of them had a baby 10 days early. The other one was freaked out that she was going to do the same, and she got left with the business, and she basically sold it to me for nothing. Okay? And I remember waking up the next morning and saying to Marty, oh my God, I own a business. I don't know what to do. What do I do? I started servicing those clients. I started taking some people to lunch, taking some people to get their hair done, doing some grocery shopping, doing some clothing shopping. I just did whatever I could do for crazy, busy, wealthy people who couldn't live their own life on their own. They needed me to do it for them. And I started hiring independent contractors all over Atlanta. And I was 5 or 6 years into this when I realized that my keychain from all the clients' keys to their homes and their offices was at least 10 pounds, climbing to 15, and I had no life because my life was their life. And I remember going on vacation and my phone ringing or pinging, and Marty saying, you're on vacation. And I'm like, I know, but just let me respond to this. And I realized that I was unhappy. That not only were they unhappy, not unhappy with me, they needed help, and their help was unhappy. And I realized I don't even like grocery shopping for myself. Why do I want I don't care if I'm getting paid. I don't like the grocery store. Doesn't matter how much money you pay me. I don't like the grocery store. So I thought about the way I was doing my business, and I realized if I can literally flip-flop the model of my business, and instead of you paying me to run your life, you pay me one time to show you how to run your life in a way that serves you well, you never have to pay me again. And I literally took my business and I turned it upside down on its head. And I created a business where now I go to you and I teach you how to live differently. It's not your fault that you don't have these skills. You didn't learn them, but they're learnable, right? The question is, how badly do you want it? How badly are you ready to set up a system that's going to serve you well in your new home office, whatever that looks like? So here I am 20 years later, still running the 25th hour, but it's not a personal concierge service. It's Wendy Ellen. It's productivity. It's consulting. It's teaching. It's training. It's going into corporate America now with this to say, what are you offering your people who are working from home as far as a benefit or a tool to work as efficiently and as effectively as possible? What are you offering your people, right? I feel like we owe it to our people to give them all the tools they need to be successful. And those tools now look very different than they did when they were in an office. And for who knows how long this is going to happen, right? I was talking to someone in Amazon who told me they gave up their lease at one of the Amazon offices. Google's not going back until at least July of 2021. Facebook's not going back. Uber's not going back. I mean, you're going to see all these companies that are not going back to work until at least middle of next year, if at all. And honestly, I have to tell you the truth. I spoke to a client today who was talking to me about coming back and whether they're going to insist that you come back. And here's what I say about that. If I'm uncomfortable and I don't feel safe going back to an office, I'm not coming back. It's my choice, not yours. If you insist on hiring people that have to stay in your office, maybe I'm not the right one. But if I'm uncomfortable going out in the world and taking the chance of my health and my safety, then I'm going to stay where I am. And what I'd rather do is perfect, and take that word lightly, okay? Get as good as you possibly can, which is not perfection, but get as good as you possibly can at setting yourself up at home so that everybody in your home team wins. Okay, so what are you going to get from this book? This Facebook Live is all about this book. What are you going to get from this book? You're going to get tools. This is basically a toolbox. At the end of this, there's places for you to write notes. There's a list of write this down. At the beginning, at the end of every chapter, I summarize the chapter. I tell you exactly what I want you to write down, the most important things I said from that story. And then I want you to start thinking about how you can relate it to your own life. So every chapter has notes pages. So first chapter is about the new reality of Marty moving home. The fact that even though I've been working out of my home for 20 years, I now have a roommate. I now have a home team, right? Everybody on this call has a home team. What's it look like to you? My home team is my husband and my animal, Ruby, my dog. Lots of home teams. Dawn on this call, she's got her husband, herself, and her 2 boys. Are her boys virtually learning? Are they half learning, half going to school? Do you have kids that really need to be looked after? Do you have dogs that need to go out 4 times a day? Like, we all have a home team. And that home team that we are now living with is just as important, if not more, than the teams we're meeting on Zoom several hundred times a week. Great that we have Zoom. I don't know what we would do without Zoom or electronics right now, right? Think about this. If this all happened 25 years ago before the internet, we'd be you know what. Up a creek without a paddle. And Zoom is killing it. And Microsoft Teams are killing it. And all the platforms right now that we're depending on to collaborate and to connect. We need the connection, right? So in the first chapter, we're talking about new reality. I want you to look at what your new team is. What does your home team look like? In the second chapter, I'm going to talk a lot about morning routines. You know, we all used to have a morning routine. Get up, push the alarm off, hop in the shower, go wake up your kid, wake up number 1, go back in your room, dry your hair, put your makeup on, put your clothes on, go back into number 2, wake up for the second time, kid hasn't moved, right? That's our morning routine. Finally drag the kid out of bed, throw him on the toilet bowl, brush his teeth, go downstairs, grab a cup of coffee, get the lunches done, and out the door you are. That's your morning routine, right? And you can't wait to say, goodbye, I love you, I'll see you at the end of the day to the kid, and now you go to have some adult time in your nice, quiet office. Not gone, right? So now that it's gone, what do we do about it? What are we going to do now for our morning routine? I love my morning routine, and I have a whole chapter dedicated to what I do in the morning and what you can do in the morning. And one of the most important things is that Marty and I do every morning is we meet at the kitchen counter. I have my coffee. He has his bowl of cereal. He's not a coffee drinker. I'm not a cereal eater. And we literally look at each other and say, what do you got going on today? Are you going to the office at all? Because Marty has an office that he's been sort of going to every now and then because he has to sign checks, etc. Mart, you know what? I have a webinar today, or I have a Facebook Live today at 6 o'clock. Will you do me a favor and get Ruby out of the house? Because she's going to bark, or she's going to be sitting at my feet, and she's going to want me to pet her, and I'm going to be distracted. Great. What do you have going on? I got a coaching call this afternoon for 2 hours. Can you take Ruby? Yup, I got her. Do you have a window in the day that maybe you and I can take Ruby to the park? Yup, absolutely. Do you have a window tomorrow? Nope, I'm slammed. We talk about what our day looks like. And the number one tool that I tell everybody right now to have is a whiteboard. Front and center in their home, a whiteboard. Okay? Everyone needs to have a whiteboard. You're going to write on the whiteboard what everybody's needs are for the day. What your kids' needs, what your husband's needs, what your pet's needs, what are your needs. It's now not just about you. It's about your home team. Everybody has something they have to do between the time they wake up to the time they go to bed. Your stuff isn't any more important than theirs. And they're not going to know what you have if you don't communicate that. So nobody in your house is a mind reader. I'm going to say that again. Nobody in our homes is a mind reader. You got to ask for what you want, and you got to encourage your home team, whatever that looks like, to ask for what they want. So on the whiteboard every morning, Tuesday, what everybody needs. Now, you might have to go revise that at 1 or 2 o'clock if something happens, but you at least have a plan for the day. And guys, we are taking this day by day. We can't do any more than taking it day by day, right? Awesome, Aaron Unger, so glad you bought the book. Woohoo, you got it last night. Lisa ordered it. Thank you so much. So that's first chapter, moving home, new reality. Second chapter, morning routine. Third chapter, oh, I love this one. Clean up your shit. It is that simple. Clean up your mess. Let's decide that this is the silver lining for COVID. That you're living in a space that's got clutter and you are ready to get it out. Because when you clear up the mess, the space that you want that's going to make you the most productive is going to reveal itself to you right there in front of your very eyes. But you're not going to know it if you are sitting amongst clutter and chaos and overwhelm in your space. I know this is my space. I'm going to tilt this down a little bit, show you that I have fresh flowers in my office every day. Fresh flowers make me happy. They don't cost that much. They make me happy. Can you imagine if everybody who loved fresh flowers just decided every single week I'm going to buy fresh flowers for my office? I come in here every day. It is the most zen space, and I have the best time being in this space. I absolutely love it. Why? I created it. I care about spaces. I don't want to be distracted by crap. I don't want to have to look at piles of office supplies. I don't want to have to look at boxes of files. I'm going to come and sit in my office and look at my computer and get my work done. And turn around and look at my whiteboard to see what I got going on that I want to be reminded of. I don't want to see crap. It's just a distraction. Any kind of clutter is distraction. Physical clutter, electronic clutter, emotional clutter. Clutter is clutter. Right? So, that's a chapter. Next chapter, set up your space. Once you clean up your mess, there are so many cool, creative ways to set up a space in your house. You don't even know what you don't know. I didn't even know until I investigated. I did a lot of research in this book. I talked to a lot of people. I asked them their challenges with working from home. I asked what their silver linings were for working from home. And I asked them what their favorite tools were. What's a great tool for you to use from working at home? I have this amazing VersaDesk. VERSA desk. So if I want to stand for 3 hours and train or coach, I don't have to sit down. My desk goes up and down by the push of an electric button. It's awesome. I love it. Right now I'm standing because my desk is high. Great tool for working at home. Clutter is clutter, Krista. You betcha, girlfriend. So you're going to set up your space. Then we're going to talk about your email inbox. Speaking of Krista Parkinson, who is my poster child for absolutely kicking it out of the park with her email inbox. Okay? I cannot say enough about this woman who is so totally driven when it comes to her email inbox. She sees 50 in there and she is taking no prisoners. She is in, she's getting rid of it, but here's the thing. I taught Krista a system. Okay? I didn't just say go in there and delete them. You can't just delete every email that's in your inbox. You have to have a system for where you get it when you want it next. Right? Fabulous system that you're going to learn in this book, both for your paper clutter and for your electronic clutter. Huge. Okay? After that, we are going to focusing. May I please have your undivided attention? When's the last time you did that? Right? When's the last time you gave your undivided attention to anyone or anything? Are you literally able to have a conversation with your spouse without looking behind him to see what the news is looking at, right? What the weather is? Are you literally able to have a conversation about what your kid's day was about without thinking about something else? Are you on an email while you're trying to listen to your kid who walks over to you and starts talking? Right? Unbelievable how we can't seem to focus because we have so much coming at us all day long. This, my friends, is a blessing and a curse. And we have control over it. It does not control us. If you let it control you, it will. Take control of this. That's huge, right? So we talk all about getting your email inbox to zero and keeping it that way. And yes, you can. I have a fabulous system that you'll read about in the book. And then we have focus, and then we have, oh, here's what I love. Procrastination. Funny, I left that to the last. Procrastination. Here's one of the reasons why we procrastinate, okay? Because we are looking for perfection. And there is no perfection on anything. I am looking for progress, not perfection. I am looking for 80% organized. I do not expect you to get off this Facebook Live, go out into your home, declutter your whole space, get into your email inbox, clean that out as well. It's a process. You did not get where you are overnight, and you are not going to undo it overnight, but we're talking progress. That's all I'm looking for. So stop thinking that listen, let me just share this with you, as crazy as this sounds. I get on a stage in front of thousands of people. I've been an international speaker for many, many years now until COVID happened. And then boom, gone. All my speaking gigs live. I was getting ready to be the keynote speaker at the Creative Women's Conference in London, England on June 6th last year. This year, gone. Right? I can get in front of 1,000 people on a stage with no problem in the world. But the anxiety that I have over getting on a Facebook Live is off the charts. I'm looking for perfect. Does the bookcase look okay? And is the pink too much pink? And is everybody going to see the pictures that are behind me? And is that going to be okay? And am I blending into the wall? Who gives a shit, right? Who really cares? I am here to share my wisdom and my expertise in something that I know is going to change your life, and that's really all that matters. Does it matter what my makeup looks like? No. Do I stress out of it like we all do and think it's got to be perfect in order to do it? Yes. Stop looking for perfection. Just do it. Stop looking for the perfect place in your house to set up, and until you get it exactly right, you're not going to do it. Clean up the mess and the space will appear. Clean up the mess and the space will reveal itself to you. So much more to talk about in the book. Great systems, great tools, great workbook. I'm going to be doing a free webinar. Every month I'm doing a free webinar called Working From Home, How's That Working For You? Where you will actually get some of these tips on the webinar. Next webinar is October 20th at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. Okay? One after that is November 17th, 4 p.m. Eastern Time. Every 4 weeks on a Tuesday at 4 p.m. I'm doing a webinar. So if you can't get into one, you can hop into the other. Come join me on my webinar. I'd love to have you anytime. Share it with your people. Gift this book to your people who need it. Talk to the people in your life who you know could really use help in this. And instead of making them feel wrong for the way they live, tell them that you have a gift that can help them live differently. Right? I have a fabulous 3-day intensive that I just came out of. My next one is December 4, 5, and 6. If you on this call are totally committed to doing this and you want to talk about that, email me at wendyellen.com. That's the easiest way to find me. Email me at wendyellen.com and we can talk about the 3-day intensive and what that entails. But it's a Friday afternoon, Saturday, and Sunday that is life-changing, 100% life-changing, and I only take 12 people per class. And if you don't get the December one, the next one's not until the end of January. So if you want to go into 2021 rocking this working from home productivity thing, get into that December class. It's a life changer. Wendy Garisco, you are the bomb. You have been doing this stuff. I can't even tell you. I'm so proud of how long you've been working this system. You are my Command Central poster child. For sure. So, guys, can't thank you enough. Want to find more from me? Wendy at wendyellen.com. Want to register for the webinar? wendyellen.com. Right there on the homepage is a button to click for the free webinar. It'll always be there. The easiest way for you to find me. Want to know more about the 3-day intensive? Email me at wendyellen.com. There's a million ways for you to reach me, but just if you know Wendy Ellen, you can find me. Hope you guys have a fabulous day. Again, from the bottom of my heart, thank you, thank you, thank you for supporting me all these years, for buying my book, for helping me get to #1 bestseller, which is just going to help me get out into more people in the world to get them to clean up their mess, set up their space, and step up their productivity. Bye, guys. Have a great evening.